Kenny's in trouble. He's going to run. He's going to get the first down.
Don't sleep on those legs. Oh, he faked the slide. Sauce time. The Pitt Panthers have pulled a stunning upset over the West Virginia Mountaineers.
And Johnny Majors gets a ride across the field.
What is up, everybody? Welcome back to Simplify. It's been so long since you haven't seen us. A whole 3 days. Maybe even less.
I think it was less than that.
You probably listen to it in the morning.
Yeah.
I put it out at night when no one listens to podcasts. We're back. Unfortunately, we have to preview another Pitt football game. It is what it is.
Yeah.
So I should have started with this. I'm your host, Zach Kaminsky. I'm joined tonight by my co-host, Mason. How you doing tonight?
Doing well. It feels like we should be playing tonight, considering every other time we play UNC
right?
It's a Thursday night game. So we get to see them on a Saturday. We'll see how that affects the outcome.
Have you decided if you're going to the game or not?
Probably not. Probably not going to go to the game. For my mental health, I'm taking
I think that's going to be a good idea. We're also joined by Kent remotely. He is still imprisoned in Yemen. We are working on a prisoner exchange where you're trying to get Keaton Slovis extradited for his crimes against the city of Pittsburgh and really Pitt fans abroad. But Kent, how are they treating you? Is the food good?
No, the food is garbage and I'm stuck. So send help.
At least you have more than 5 minutes this time.
Yeah.
Yeah, I talked them into it.
You had to bribe a prison guard to be on the pod.
Exactly.
I hear they actually gave him a printout instead of sort of like etching the scoreboard into the walls this week.
Yeah.
I traded in my cigarettes for...
That is dedication. Football guy right there.
Listen, he cares about the sport. Before we get into previewing the North Carolina game, I just want to go over some news. One kind of interesting piece of news, one concerning piece of news based on our podcast. Dropped on Monday, I think. One, Jalen Barden is getting the start this week at wide receiver. I think he's starting over Bub Means, who I think is hurt, but has also not been very good. Mm-hmm. So, hey, young guy's playing. He was called the MVP of the spring game, so I don't know. He had a couple of cool plays last year, a couple big plays, a couple touchdowns. See what he can do.
Let him eat.
And then on the flip side, in a press conference today, Pat Narduzzi hinted that Keaton Slovis might be back for next year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What a teaser.
I don't know. I don't know how many more it is what it is I have left in me, man. It's
yeah. I don't need to see a flash sometime soon here. It's a real tough look when it feels like this is college football, but it somehow feels like we signed Carson Wentz to a deal like way too early. But man, yeah, I don't know. He also he said that about Slovis, and then he also I don't know the exact quote, but he was basically saying he was basically saying we're undefeated because we've only beat ourselves to this point.
Hang the banner, undefeated except we beat ourselves. Hey, we're 4-0 when we don't beat ourselves, and we're 0-3. I mean, listen. The hardest battle is the internal one, and I think he's reading some Sun Tzu, something like that.
Yeah, undefeated in games that we're counting.
Undefeated in games that we didn't. Undefeated in games that we won.
Yeah. So it was just all-time Narduzzi spin zone. The heater of a media week for the guy.
That spin zone's putting me in the. You know the Blender videos of like the people getting caught in between like a train and the platform. Have you ever seen one of those? You know what I'm talking about?
No.
Oh, okay. Well, that's the image of me in this spin zone.
Okay.
I'm getting torn apart.
Okay, I see.
Yeah.
It's gruesome.
It's bad. It's terrible. Let's talk about, though, is this the game where Keaton Slovis is going to show a spark? Because North Carolina has a famously bad defense.
Based off what we've seen in the past from this team, it's gonna be a shootout.
Yeah. Pretty much every game except last year's been a complete and utter shootout.
Yeah, which like even last year, it was like the rainy game, and like even towards the end, they started to put some points up late. But yeah, I hope if he couldn't do it last week, if he can't do it this week, then there's two weeks in a row of bad defenses where he should be putting up points.
If he can't do it this week, he should be put out to pasture, in my opinion.
Yeah,
So-
agreed.
I mean, the thing is, though, are they going to have an answer for them just playing man on our disappointing receivers and just putting 7 in the box? Because that's how you beat Pitt. That is literally the.
Well, that's what they should do. If they're smart, they'll just blitz until we actually do something to.
Well, Gene Chiswick is the D coordinator, so you can't really count on him doing something good. But
Yeah. The blueprint is there, though. You're absolutely right, Kent. Like, that's it's there, it's out, it's been seen several times now. So we'll see if UNC can replicate it.
the funny thing is, like, it's only really worked 2 times. Like Georgia Tech did it and Louisville did it. But when it works, it works. And even Virginia Tech was doing it. They just couldn't tackle in the secondary. They were the victim of 6 plays that happened to work.
Yep.
Okay, enough about us. Let's talk about UNC a little bit, kind of preview their team. Their quarterback is pretty much all-world freshman. Would you say best quarterback in the ACC right now?
Yeah, it's got to be, right?
Devin Leary's hurt. Jordan Travis isn't that guy.
I was going to say, if you take some of these injuries away and let the guys have a full season, like, there's probably an argument. But with all those guys getting hurt, I don't think.
I mean,
there's an
statistically,
argument.
so far in the season, he has been
Absolutely.
the most impressive quarterback. I mean, just to list it off, he's completing 70% of his passes on 230 attempts through 7 games, I want to say. I'm actually not sure. I'm not going to do the counting. But he's thrown for over 2,200 yards, average of 9 yards per throw, 24 touchdowns to 3 interceptions. This guy is electric. And
I feel like the key is we got to get to him early. We got to make him feel the presence.
absolutely, because they don't have a good rushing game. They're all air all the time. Their leading rusher is actually Drake Maye, who has 378 yards on 84 carries. Their leading running back is 345 on 74. Both are less than 5 yards a carry. So really, they're not going to run the ball in Pitt. I think they have a very smart offensive coordinator. They know they're not going to be able to run the ball. It's just a matter of what can you do up front to try and pressure him. I think that something disappointing about this team this year has been the lack of sacks they're getting. I think they're getting a lot of pressure. You're seeing a lot of picks. We do have a lot of picks this year, but the sacks aren't coming. Now, like I said, it's showing up in other places. Sacks, interceptions, hurries, bad balls, but I think that if we're going to win, obviously the defense has to play lights out like they have been. Obviously, that's our strength this year. Give them their credit, but public enemy number 1 is Drake Maye.
If we can contain him, we can contain UNC. It's pretty much the.
It's Drake Maye and Josh Downs. Their electric number 1 receiver, who's catching clip balls at 11.5 yards per catch. But then they also have Antoine Green, number 3. His average catch goes for 30 yards. He has 13 catches for 384. One has to think that he's going to have a long ball touchdown on a broken coverage. I think that's a guarantee, right? That's a simplified guarantee.
Yeah, that's gonna be that's gonna be tough because that's been one of our holes in the defense, which is what you get.
That's just another doozy defense. So you're putting your safeties and corners on an island, and when they get beat, you get beat.
Yeah, but I don't know. Do you think that's going to be something that they look at the film this week and say, okay, maybe let's play,
absolutely
a little bit more
not.
conservative?
Absolutely not.
Silly me.
They're going to send 7 on 3rd and 8, and he's going to complete a throw to the sticks that gets another 5 yards. So there's no one within camera distance of the receiver.
Yeah, it'll be a total momentum swing in the game probably too.
Yeah, we're going to be up 17 to 10,
Yeah.
and then it's all downhill from there. It's going to be at some point in the late 3rd, early 4th. Excuse me, you're interrupting our podcast. Sorry. I don't know, Kent. What do you think?
I'm sorry. I'm gonna need you to repeat the last part.
Oh, we had another call. Someone else was trying to phone us from the. We actually got a call from the Saudi embassy, but
collect call.
Nah, but we're talking about UNC offense right now.
yeah.
Yeah, it'll be interesting. I think it's going to be kind of similar. I think our defense is going to play well, well enough where, they should be hopefully keeping the game close, at least at first, until, we just need our offense to, sustain some drives, give the defense a breather, because otherwise I think by the end of this game, our defense is just going to be gassed again. So, I think the offense really just needs to help the defense out. I think the defense can hold their own. They held their own pretty well against some quality opponents so far. So
that's going to be a huge point. Is just keeping them off the field and sustaining drives. None of that like bullshit 3 and outs that takes 30 seconds because we're running the ball 3 times.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, you look back, we honestly played Tennessee pretty well on defense, and I mean, there's not an offense that I'm scared of this defense going against. It's more just they're going to get tired if our offense cannot sustain a drive.
Yeah, that's true. It is kind of like the same, like similar. They don't go. I don't think they go as quick as Tennessee does, but it's very much like the pass first.
Absolutely,
we're going to get out in space kind of offense. So you're right. We did contain Tennessee. So whatever game plan that was, let's do something similar to that, I guess.
Yeah. I will say one thing about North Carolina is that obviously the problems of the defense are known, but in games this year, right, against Appalachian State, Notre Dame, and Duke, which are their one loss on the season and then their 2 closest games, they gave up a rusher over 100 yards in each of those games. So
that's going to be the key.
Yeah, because to give credit to Louisville, they actually do have a pretty good defensive line, defensive front. It might not be the same for North Carolina, but once again, you have to have something else than Izzy going God mode.
Yep.
Although, I think we can win, but honestly, I think we're going to be at 4-4 after this game.
Yeah, we're scratching and clawing for a bowl game at this point.
Yeah. You got anything else?
No, nothing super glaring. I think it's a ranked opponent, and we're similar. They're favorited by 4 points this week, 3 points, so it's similar to it was last week. So this would be like if we could pull this off, it would be almost even a bigger win than Louisville would have at this point in the season. So hopefully, just at this point, just trying to play. Upset.
Yeah, it's Halloween weekend. You can it could be a weird game. Weird things happen. The only thing I'll say is that if Pitt wants any chance of being sacrificed on the altar to Clemson in Charlotte, they have to beat North Carolina. If they lose, I think pretty much North Carolina can run away with the division title at that point. We're gonna have 3 conference losses.
Yeah.
So
big one for them too.
Yeah. So the odds are huge here. We have to win if we want any chance of back-to-back championship berths. So yeah, this game is sort of the season, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, this is the Coastal Rager for sure. Yeah, I mean, I don't want to get my expectations / hopes up for this game. I'm just gonna kind of watch and kind of see what happens. We'll go from there.
Yeah.
I'm with you. I don't want to get my hopes up, but for whatever reason, I feel them getting up. Just because like the stinker we had last week, I don't know. It feels like it could be a bounce back because we kind of have a tendency to do that.
Yeah, obviously we're gonna get our hopes up.
Dude, I thought that was going to be last week. I mean, you have 2 weeks to prepare, and that's how you come out. Maybe after 2 stinkers in a row, maybe and like all the criticism they're getting, maybe now they like a little slap to the face and they wake up and they play. I don't know. I mean, if they come out and play like they did against Louisville, they're going to get run out of the building. So,
yeah. Agreed.
All right, let's move on. Let's do a quick. We are on a little time crunch here, so we're going to kind of go through the slate really quick, but it's not too great of a slate. Starting tonight on Thursday, there's some ACC action. Virginia Tech goes to NC State. Devin Leary's hurt. This game isn't very interesting. Virginia Tech is very, very bad. Let's move to Saturday. Noon slate. Biggest game of the day. Number 2 Ohio State goes to number 13 Penn State. This feels like the first Ohio State game in Happy Valley. It's not a whiteout in a long time.
Yeah. They're dumb. They just need to make their biggest game every year the whiteout. I don't know why they try to spread it around. Just save it for Ohio State and Michigan.
Yeah.
So I think my prediction for this game, Ohio State's going to win. It's going to be a little bit closer than people think.
That was my exact prediction. For the last couple of years, it's always been Ohio State hasn't won by a lot, but the game always felt out of control for Penn State. They're never going to come back. They win by 10, but it feels like 15 or 24.
Yeah.
Moving along, Notre Dame goes to Syracuse. Still ranked number 16. I think the Syracuse train might end here because unless they decide to actually play Sean Tucker.
Yeah, I don't know. I could see Syracuse winning this game. Notre Dame's been up and down this year.
Yeah.
And they're like Notre Dame's like the only hope we have left to beat Clemson, I think, right? They're still on.
Yeah, but yes, to be undefeated, but it's not a conference loss.
Yeah.
So.
Before we get too deep into the other slates here, my wouldn't it be funny is I'm getting back to my roots.
Okay.
I think the first wouldn't it be funny I picked was Kansas over West Virginia. Flipping that this week, and I'm going West Virginia over TCU. I think that would be second week in a row to have a top 10, 7-ranked team, undefeated team, go down to an unranked opponent. I just think that would be funny.
Okay, I like it. I like it.
TCU's played some. They beat some good teams, but they beat some good teams without quarterbacks, like I said last week. And I think that it might be the JT Daniels show this weekend.
I think that West Virginia has an awful defense. I would bet TCU against the spread 7.5 right now, but it would also be hilarious. It would be hilarious.
Wouldn't it be funny?
Yeah. Okay. Rest of the noon slate in the ACC, you have Boston College playing UConn. That would be funny. that would be my favorite.
That game's funny just because both of those teams fucking blow.
Yeah. Georgia Tech goes to Florida State. Who cares? Miami and Virginia, they're having a mid-off. At the 3:30 slot, you have Florida, Georgia. This game has no shine on it. Florida's bad, and Georgia is the number 1 team in the nation. You also have Oklahoma State versus Kansas State. This game is a little weird to me. Kansas State is favored, but
is Adrian Martinez back?
See, that's the question. I'm not sure. I think their second stringer might be, who looked pretty good, but overall, I think Oklahoma State probably takes care of business. I think they're all around the best team in the Big 12 with TCU. But
yeah,
I don't know. I think I like the pokes there. You have Cincinnati versus UCF. UCF is favored in this game. Don't know why. They got housed by Eastern Carolina last week. I think Cincy rolls here and proves that they're the best team in the AAC. Moving down. Hey, on ESPN Plus, Robert Morris goes to App State. Look at that. I didn't know about that. Okay, 7 o'clock. Number 19 goes to number 3. Number 19, Kentucky goes to number 3, Tennessee. I don't think that Tennessee will lose this, but this is also a game that Tennessee likes to lose.
It's a trap game for sure because they skipped the trap game last week when they played UT Martin or whatever it was.
Yeah.
So this is like the delayed trap game. But I think that they'll handle. I agree. Also, you have Michigan State versus Michigan at 7:30 on ABC. I think Michigan handled business just because Michigan State isn't like... Michigan State has to be at least decent to pull off this upset. And they don't have a defense. Yeah.
Blake Corum's going to go nuclear on them. This is kind of a pretty weak slate. The rest of the slate isn't that good. You have Wyoming going to Hawaii. I like Wyoming. I like their colors. They make brown look good. But I think the only other big game you have is Ole Miss at Texas A&M at 7:30. But I wouldn't watch that. I don't want to see any of that.
No, this is like oil money versus oil money of two teams that just haven't made the boat. Like, they've made the most of NIL, and it hasn't showed at all for either of these guys. It did show for Ole Miss, but they're fraudulent, and they could probably lose this game, if we're being honest.
They could, definitely. I don't believe in the A&M offense enough to. But it would be kind of funny. Yeah, I don't know. The big money move parlay returns this week. I kind of forgot to do it the last couple of weeks. We are taking East Carolina money line, TCU spread 7.5, Cincinnati money line. Don't know why they're an underdog. The Northwestern Iowa under and Oklahoma State money line, giving you odds of plus 3.530. Wager 10 to win 353.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, I think that could hit.
I like that.
Kent, do you have a game you want to tell us about?
Yeah, so we're going to introduce a new segment today.
Wait, hold on, Kat. I gotta go get him. If you guys want to do this and finish it.
Okay, hold on.
Kat, Zach's going to call you.
All right.
So Mason is going to speak with our contact at the Saudi embassy. We are negotiating for Kent's release. the Saudis, of course. Kent is in Yemen, but he's in Saudi-controlled territory, so it does add a layer of confusion to this whole thing. But hopefully we'll get him back on the line. Hopefully the prison guards are sort of receptive to him taking 2 calls in one day and 3 in 1 week. But, yeah. Kent, you're back with us?
I'm back.
All right, so but before you're so rudely interrupted by another call from the Saudi embassy, what are we introducing here?
Yeah, I've had a lot of time to thinking myself, and new segment is Christmas matchup of the week. So this could be a red versus green game. Those times it probably will be a red versus green game as we're starting to head into the holiday season here. After Halloween, a lot of people think it's Christmas season. We'll roll with that. I like Thanksgiving, but we'll roll with Christmas. So the inaugural Christmas matchup of the week here on Simplify is 3:30 p.m. on Stadium. We have North Texas against Western Kentucky.
Okay, all right. We're who are we feeling? The Mean Green or the Hilltoppers here?
I'll take the Hilltoppers in this one. Could see this. I think. Let's see what the line is on this. They're favored by 10. I think North Texas might cover. I could see Western Kentucky maybe winning by a touchdown, but I like the Hilltoppers money line in this one.
All right, cool. Now, can I ask you, was Baylor versus Texas Tech a consideration? Does the yellow throw us off? Is Texas Tech not the right shade of red? Like, walk me through it here.
I considered that, and I thought that was just too much of a layup pick. I wanted my first pick to be, maybe a matchup that, maybe some people didn't necessarily have their eye on this weekend. So I think North Texas and Western Kentucky matchup deserves a little bit more respect, so that's my Christmas matchup of the week.
All right, well, Santa's bringing presents to one of these teams, and we will have a Christmas game of the week every week. Of course, if as long as we're given red and green teams, maybe let's even throw some silver in there. But of course, that is up to Kent's discretion. Other than that, anything else? Any games we missed? Do you think?
I don't think so. Kind of a weak slate this week. I kind of agree with what you guys were saying about the matchups. I didn't really chime in much, but I didn't have much else to add. I agree. I think Oklahoma State pulls it out against Kansas State. I could see WVU taking down TCU, but I really don't want them to. I hope the Horned Frogs can blow them out, but we'll see.
All right, so that'll be it from us. This has been Simplify Pod. Thank you once again for tuning in. Our next show will be to recap the UNC game. And if you like this, make sure to subscribe to the podcast. Make sure you're telling your friends and family about it. Telling your fellow Pitt alums. We're trying to grow our network. Maybe have something special planned for when we reach 100 Twitter followers. Wink, wink, hint, hint. And you can find us on Twitter at SimplifyPod. You can follow the host. You can follow me at I'm Real Anger. You can follow Kent here at Kent_VW. And you can follow Mason at Clayson_Ming. And with that, we'll see you next time.